Alright, welcome race fans. Sorry, having a little bit of technical problems here. Just give me 1 minute and we'll get ready to rock and roll, as I'm gonna have Zach Hall and not Brian Johnson, Zach Hall and Brandon Colley is gonna be joining me in the booth here tonight as I get this stuff all set up here. So I do apologize for this little start that got messed up here, but I will charm these guys in and let them take over so I can get this set up correctly for everybody. Zach and Brandon, can you take over? I got a technical issue here. I got to take care of first.
Yeah, we got this for sure. So
easy peasy.
Definitely. And yeah, well, everybody, welcome here tonight to the Phoenix Raceway, otherwise known now as iRacing Raceway. And got somebody in the booth with me that I'm glad to have. Definitely, I've had the pleasure to commentate with you, Brandon. But how you doing tonight, Mr. Colley?
Doing pretty good, Zach. It's pretty hot outside here in Washington. I actually think it's hotter than it is in Phoenix today, but can't complain otherwise. But yeah, I'm glad to work with you today. I think now the only one I haven't worked with that does broadcasting is Brian Johnson, so we'll have to get him in the booth sometime so we can take care of that as well.
Oh, that would be interesting too. I have two Brandon, hold up, rewind. We'll skip that. But welcome to the eNascar Outlaw League here tonight as we are broadcasting their wonderful Cup Series, and we got about a minute left here, almost in qualifying tonight. And man, oh man, shout out to everybody out there tuning in here at Freaky Fast Broadcast as always, and we appreciate the love and support we get. And we just cannot wait to get this race kicked off here tonight at Phoenix. Should be a pretty good one. What you thinking? How do you think it's gonna play out, though, Brandon?
Well, it's gonna be. It looks like about a 3-horse race at the moment, with guys that I was watching in practice about 2/10 quicker than the rest of the field. Watching out for Ryan Goodell, Ken Zeems, and John Gallagher. But it should be fun. It's gonna be slick. We know these Cup cars are a bit out of control coming off the corner if you're not steady with your throttle. I see a couple guys that'll try to either shift to get that better exit rather, and sometimes put that left front down below the apron. I've seen a few guys spin doing that in practice, so we'll see who's brave enough to test the water sec.
Yeah, that's for sure, Brandon, and that's interesting too. Like you said, some shifting, so we'll have to see how that plays out for some guys tonight.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll see many people doing it, but it has been something you can do in the past, and we'll see if somebody can figure it out and maybe put it to good use tonight.
Definitely agree there. And Ryan Goodell looking pretty strong right now on the pole, but man, Ken Zeems here did a fine job to put down a time only really 100th off of Ryan there. So really close starting, and we'll go ahead and go into our starting grid here for tonight at ISM Raceway, and I will bring that to you here once we get that up on the screen. There it is. So we will be seeing, here we go, for the eNascar Outlaw League tonight here at ISM Raceway. Ryan Goodell is your pole setter here. Alongside him on that front row will be Ken Zeems. Third goes to John Gallagher. Fourth will be Kyle Spees. Fifth is Nick Ratter. Sixth is Brandon Browning. Seventh is Matthew Jaggard. Eighth is Robert Woodard. Ninth, Russell Peets. 10th is Aaron Marnickle. 11th is Derek Bordeaux. 12th is Drew Bordeaux. Wow, sorry about that. 12th is Daryl Arnold. 13th is Drew Halloran. 14th is Christopher Woodard. 15th is Shane Terrian. 16th is Christopher L. Lawrence. 17th is Chris Malcolm. 19th, Henry Besaw. And rounding out the field is Joaquin Meza. So we got a 18-car field here, Brandon, and should get pretty wild here to start this thing off. Phoenix is a tough place.
Yeah, as I said on Monday, I don't have a lot of success here. You guys, you and Brian are consistently quicker than I am. So what are your keys, do you think, to get around this place?
Well, usually this place tends to be very right rear limited. Normally when we're talking about the Cup car, we're talking about saving that right front tire. Tonight, I think you're going to see a lot of guys trying to keep that right rear tire under them and not overheat it. So you're going to see, like you said, a little bit of shifting. Maybe for guys that are trying to get that little bit of extra turn and they are getting tight. you'll kind of go into that shifting as you get into those lower RPM ranges. But I usually tend to stick away from the shifting and just really try to hit my marks here. The key to me is 1 and 2. You have to get down and make sure you get all the way down to the bottom. If you can get all the way there by the center of the corner, you usually have some pretty good turn off. And then 3 and 4, really, that's the corner where everything opens up. You know, you got a lot of options. You can run a little bit higher up to get that great run up off with a straight exit, or you can run right on that yellow line, or even go below it. There's lots and lots of options here at Phoenix Raceway on turn 3 and 4, and that's what makes it so fun. It's also very, very flat in the exit. Look at that. That pace car is already going to pull off as these guys are going to get ready here tonight for 160 laps at ISM Raceway. There's the green flag is out. Ryan Goodell is going to lead us down into turn 1.
Yeah, Ken Ziem's not a great start, but not awful. Didn't stack up anybody behind him. But yeah, Ryan Goodell out to a pretty sizable lead here out of turn 1 and 2.
Yes, he did. He got a nice little gap. Looking back here now with Barnacle, and look at the gap that Ryan Goodell has on second place already of John Gallagher. So yeah, Ken Ziem's losing that one spot there, Brandon, like you said. And man, he might be actually losing to another one here to Kyle Speeds as he looked, but not going to be there.
Oh, back in the field, they're looking 3 wide going into 1, and there's some contact, and we got cars going around. I think they're going to save it. No caution. Good job, everybody there. Looks like Robert Woodard just overbaked the corner a little bit.
Yeah, there you go. He's going to have it there on the apron as he gets it back wound up. And man, oh man, that's a good job of them not to say or cause a caution there. Keep it green and clean there.
Yeah, everybody's all single file now, Zach. Now it's just hit your marks and kind of take care of your stuff and let the chips fall where they may and see if you can pick up anybody who might burn up their stuff.
Definitely so. Here's we're riding, looking at Christopher Lawrence. He gets pretty high off of turn 2. That's going to open up the door there for Christopher Woodard to his inside as they go down the back stretch into 3 and 4 side by side. Man, oh man, that's one thing this track really does do well. I love this track for side by side racing.
Yeah, as long as you've got somebody you can trust, you know they're not going to plow the corner and nail you in the right or the left rear. You can run side by side for a long time here without any problems.
You definitely can. Look at wow, you already seen a little bit of loose there. That's from Christopher Woodard. There's the Christopher's battle.
Yeah, kind of looking for him to do well tonight. Loving the paint scheme as a Buckeyes fan, so that's the guy that I'm picking to do well tonight.
That's right. You got the Buckeyes fan up here. Well, it's that's cool. That's cool to see. You know, he's got the stars on there like the helmets. You know, that's a pretty nice little paint scheme there. Even though I'm not a Buckeyes fan, you know, I prefer if it was the Duke Blue Devils on there, but you know, talk about that a different time. So,
really interested to know what he had to do to get them Buckeye stickers on the quarters there.
Right? That's what I'm wondering too. Because usually that means some type of accomplishment. Oh, he's about to accomplish hitting the wall. Woo! What a save!
Oh man, these things, they've been way out of shape already.
Yeah, so we're definitely you know, the last time I ran here, Brandon, we did WSSR in season 1, I believe, and that's what I remember is that little bit of definitely the trend to go that right rear go away, and that's been different than the past few times too before, where we've had tons of grip and it's usually tend to tighten up. But I think you'll see a little bit of a push loose tonight. You're going to lose that front end, and then you're going to try to put that wheel into it. As you put the wheel into it, guess what that thing does? She snaps out.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up, and it's a trend with these Cup cars. They're known for that push loose, just trying to keep wheel into it off the corner, and then it just snaps around once that transition happens from the banking.
Definitely, especially with this lower downforce, higher horsepower package too. You got that little rear spoiler on the back instead of that gigantic one we carry around every other mile and a half or mile or above track. So, but back up front even here, look at Ken Ziems. He's moved back into second position about 10 laps ago, or what? 10 laps ago, only been 8 laps in. He's moved in that position about 5 laps ago, and he's starting to put in some pretty good lap times here, about a 10th quicker than our leader. So watch that 40 car. I know I've been told before to watch Ken Ziems. He seems like he's a frequent front runner here, so wouldn't put it past him to be able to slide a few positions up farther. well, one position apart.
Oh yeah, Ken Zeems, he's always fast. Watch him on Mondays, and he's normally up there at the front contending for a win. And I'm thinking the 44 might have just got a little overzealous there and burned up some tires early, and Ken just patiently waiting, stalking, slowly catching him here.
Definitely, and 60% fuel load here tonight. I'm thinking these guys could go around 50 laps, I'd imagine, with the 60% load, maybe 60. So it'll be interesting. I believe because you're on a full tank, you can go around like 80 to 90 here, I believe. So probably around 60. You're probably looking around 55, I'd say. So we'll have to watch where them pit stops come, and also got to remember there's tire set limit here, which they only have 4 sets of tires, and that's including the one on the car. So 3 in the pits. That's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Also with the lower fuel load. So if they guys can make it 55 laps, then they should be good to. That's really 55. If you can hit 55, you can get to 110 on that second stop, and then will be 50 to go. As we look at this battle back here with Matthew Jagger, the 22 and the 48, Brandon Browning going off in the 148. Looks like he will make that pass.
Yeah, and saying that they only have the 3 sets with the fuel load, you definitely shouldn't see anybody coming in between the minimum time that they need for their fuel runs just to save the tires, because I don't think you want to go out here on a full tank of fuel and try to hold off to everybody else on fresh tires, Zach.
Yeah, I think you're definitely going to want to put the for Mr. Feelgoods, as I call him, on as we ride on board with the number 30 of Daryl here as he off into turn 1. But yeah, continuing, Ken Zeems is continuing to cut time out of Ryan Goodell as I monitor that exchange between those two. And one thing I noticed too, Brandon, is he's cutting the dog leg a lot in the 40 car, and the 44 has decided he was not cutting the dog. He is staying up high.
Zach, I think that might come down to just a comfort thing. Yep. We touched on it before, that transition, especially with the push loose, trying to keep it the wheel into it to make that transition down to cut the dog leg, it can really step the back of the car out.
Definitely can. It's like you said, I think mostly, like you said, just a comfort type thing. You kind of want to do it. And he actually gapped Ken there that last lap about 2/10, so that's good stuff. And you can actually see Arnold here, Daryl here, at 30. He's starting to close in that 2 Christopher Woodard for that 11th position. So trying to get up here closer to a top 10 as he started in that 12th position. He's going to try to make up 1 as Christopher again gets a little loose in front. We've seen that 2 car dead sideways tonight.
And I think that's just to do with, how much he's sliding. It's really hard to cool the tires down here. So once you abuse them, it snowballs. It does in a hurry. They just keep building heat, and then they never feel the same. And you're going to fight loose until you are able to come in and get them 4 Mr. Feelgoods.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I always like to compare, like when I'm doing a long run sometimes, and I'm really, really struggling. It's just the tires feel like basketballs. It just seems like they bounced on the track, and they're just super hard and pumped up with a lot of air almost, and just not comfortable with that same feeling when you have that lower air pressure taking off of those soft, making the tires a little bit softer and a little bit more sidewalk.
Yeah, it's going to be like that all night. Really going to have to watch the tire wear. You got to be nice and smooth.
Oh, we got a car spinning on the front, and this is the last race of the regular season. Next week we'll start our playoffs as we're getting word of that. But man, oh man, whew, that was the 26 of Robert Woodard, I think. Yeah, it was Robert Woodard. We'll go back here to replay as we are riding here on the replay with Robert Woodard as he goes down the back straight, and I think his issues are coming out of force, so we'll see here in a few seconds. You already see him a little loose there in the dog leg, so these guys are fighting a little bit of loose here tonight, that's for sure. As he goes through 3 and 4, let's see what happens. I believe that rear end's going to kick out, isn't it? Yes, it does. Oh, it hits the inside wall, locks it up. And then I think he downshifted. So this is very easy to do. I think he put the car in a lower gear and just lit the tires up and almost spun it right there in front of 3rd place. So that's actually really easy to do, Brandon. I've had it times where you get frustrated, you hit the wall, you slow it down so much, you're in that higher gear, you step on the gas, and guess what that thing does? It lights those tires up even worse, and you go for a ride. So good job on him not spinning though in front of the field. Just kind of having a little bit of a Brown moment, as I like to call it.
And you said it exactly right there, Zach, not pulling back out in front of the field. I've made that mistake here, spinning off of 4. It's really easy to do when you hit the wall, just trying to keep the car going and loop it right back in front of everybody else and bring some more victims into what could have been just a single car spin.
Definitely is, and it looks like we got some differing strategies here. So our top, I believe, so we're gonna have, yeah, so our top 2 stay out. The rest, John Gallagher, yeah, so top 3, so we have 4 cars out with Christopher Lawrence in 5th here, but it'll end up being 4th, so 4 cars staying out. The rest of these guys come down and take, I wonder if they're taking fuel or tires. That's the question. It looks like most of them took tires, so that's gonna take a set of tires. Now they're gonna be down to 2 in their stall, and they're still gonna need to make at least 3 stops for this race to get to the end, I believe.
Questionable calls there, but sometimes you got to be bold if you know you're not fast enough to outright run the leader.
Yeah, you know, I trust me, with these tire limits, I'm still getting used to the whole strategy behind it. Like, you think you want to save it sometimes, but if you don't come in and get those tires like some of these other guys did, then you're going to have a huge issue if it stays green, and then it just snowballs from there. And yeah, it's really who can call the right call here, and personally it's a lot of luck sometimes, but that's what makes the racing interesting, and strategy come into a factor.
You know, Zach, the way I've always thought about it is that it's really hard when you're not fast to think of a way to get to the lead, but it's really easy when you are fast to think of a way to get yourself out of the lead.
Oh, that's for sure.
It's super hard to come back once you put yourself behind, and that is really important. We're gonna have to see who makes the right calls, because once you get behind, man, it's an uphill climb for sure.
It definitely is, especially with the pace that you see these top 2, man. They were really giving it to the field, and man, I think John Gallagher actually did come down, and so yeah, Christopher Lawrence is going to be the 3rd car. So we got top 3 who stayed out, and then Kyle Spees from there on is on fresh ones. And looking back at lap times, you know, Kyle Speed's fastest lap was a 27:44. There at the end of that run, he was down to 28:39, so almost a full second of fall off. So these 4 tires are going to make him feel like Superman for definitely at least I'd say the first 10 laps.
And for sure, they low air pressures, it's just unbelievable how much harder you can drive in and drive off compared to the guys that have got old tires. But after that initial freshness rubs off, they even out quite a bit, and then it's just hitting your marks. Don't, get too eager on the throttle.
Yeah, definitely. Looking at lap times, definitely can see the evening of the tires as about 11 laps into the run here with our leader, Ryan Goodell. He was hitting a 28 lap flat after running a 27.1 to start off, so that's 9/10 of fall off there 11 laps in. And then really from the next 9 laps almost before that caution, he only fell off about 1 or 2 more tenths. So it's very, like you said, very much an evening out process, and you're going to see these tires, like you said, for the first 10 laps be way quicker, and then I wouldn't be surprised if you see it come back to the 40 and the 44, because it'll be more down to really just long run pace.
And that's exactly right. Is the leader, on old tires, or either of these top 3, I think it is now, the guys on fresh tires are going to be faster, but you knew that you're faster than them when everything's even. So go ahead, let them go. You're going to see them again.
That's for sure. Can't get overzealous here, and you might end your night here early if you have a mistake. So definitely cannot get too worried about these new tires. You got to run your own race, and we'll see how this plays out here as Kyle Spees will be starting 4th there in the 36. You see him up top, and we're coming to 3 and 4. We're about to see. Pace car is going to pull in, take that hard left turn. And there it is. Green flag is out. Ryan Goodell leads us off into 1. Kenny Zeems, a lot better start there on the top side than the start before, but he's still going to be side by side with Christopher Lawrence in the 9, but them new tires are like a pack of wolves coming.
And you see the 36 right up at the back bumper of Ken Ziems in the 40, and he's just waiting, trying to find the right spot to make his move here, and I think he's going to go for it now.
That he is looking to that bottom. I think, also another thing, you were talking about these other guys not worrying about the new tires too much and not, messing up the race trying to hold them off. As wow, Christian Lawrence put a big block on Ken Ziems off in the one as we ran on his back bumper. But you also can't get, if you're on new tires, you can't get too aggressive. These guys on hard tires, they're running their own race. You can't just run them over. So you got to find your way around nice and smooth. I think that a lot of these guys are doing a great job of doing that.
Oh, for sure. And you know that, you're faster, but it's the easiest time in the race to really get into trouble when you're on new tires trying to race around guys that just don't have the same grip level. Happened to me a bunch of times. I'm sure it's happened to you. As we have the leader there. Oh, no, second place, Christopher Lawrence, big wiggle at it, too.
And I can confirm the top, let's see, the 36, the 29, the 48, the 22, all those guys fuel only. So we were thinking new tires. Sorry about that. That was my call. And they did not take tires. No jack up there. They just came and got some fuel. That will help balance-wise for turning, but these guys are a little bit loose at all. That might be a little bit step too far, but it may be more of a push-loose condition as the 36 now is trying to get around the 9 as we're riding back here with the 2 of Christopher Woodard. Yeah, oh man, Christopher Woodard, we seen him right here just a second ago hit the wall. Now he is trying to hold on to that number 2 machine, man. It looks tough there for him as Ryan Goodell continues to check out front as he looks great on the restarts. But man, this 2, he's had his hands full all night.
And sometimes it's just, you just can't get a handle on the track. And we've got more people wiggling up there. Jeez, guys getting loose all over the place. It's unfortunate, I'm more concerned about that damage. A little bit of damage isn't going to hurt you too much here, but as we know, left side damage for some reason, it really likes to hurt the engine, and that will hurt you, Zach.
Yeah, definitely will. Trust me, I know that one all too well. And here we're looking on to Russell Peets in that 20, and we'll come back up here to Aaron in the 18. Great looking car. As it's a little bit of a Jimmy Johnson throwback, and he goes off into 1. He's going to have the 49 under his inside of Drew Halloran. So, going to make the pass down. As you see him, he ducks off the screen as he goes that far down to the apron. This side by side in the 3 and 4. That's the opportunities you have in this track. There's a lot of opportunities, and the 18 gets up way too high, and he's going to go into the wall hard on the right front. You see it right here live.
And that's the risky take going in that high in the 3. You can make it work, but you've definitely got to make sure the car gets that cut back towards the left off the corner to get a straight exit, or you can slap the wall really easily.
Oh, that's for sure. Up in that lighter gray area up there, it never seems like it's got the grip that rubber does down below. And you see he just entered a level too high. And like you said, if you can't get it to come back down and get that straight exit, you're going to be in no man's land. And you've seen that there from the 18, just a little smack of the wall. Not too hard, but not too great either. So, but now we go up here to a 4th position of the 48 of Brandon Browning ahead of Nick in the 29. And these guys have been going at it all races. The 29 is going to look to roll the bottom here, maybe have a chance in this 48.
Well, Zach, it looks like the 48, I like his line going through 3 and 4. It's not quite low, not quite high, just enough to get the nose to rotate and get a little bit straighter exit to carry that speed, but he washed up a little bit there in 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah, he did. He really missed the bottom there, and that's going to let the 29 get to the inside as he uses all of that apron. And so he goes off into 3 and 4. Also, look at the 9 of Christopher Lawrence. He says, I want to follow through. Can I come?
Yeah, looks like Christopher Lawrence lost a few positions on that restart. I think that might have just been a product of him getting loose, maybe pulling the tires back down, but looking to make a charge here.
Yeah, he's doing a great job of rebounding. He started 3rd, and he slid back a few positions, but he also started 16th in this race. Not the greatest qualifying for him. He's almost here beating on the door of a top 5 behind the 48 of Brandon Browning.
Yeah, really good job. If you can get that track position and hold on to it, you'll always end up with really good results at the end. Just got to keep the car clean.
Definitely do. You can see Brandon Brown actually get a little bit of the apron. We got a caution here. Whoops. Oh, Christopher Woodard, the 2.
No. Oh, big damage.
Buckeye's got a black eye. Oh. Here we're going to watch here live on the replays. I got a little bit of an early sneak freak. But man, oh man, he's the hard hit. So you might want to watch this one, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we call getting stuck in the wall. Here we'll go off in the 3 and 4 on the replay. And look on the apron there riding. And I think it's another case again. We'll see maybe here as he gets a little bit loose. Yep, that rear end just comes out from under the 2. Oh man, it rebounds back. Wow, see. Oof. They might need to do a concussion check for that, because man, he went from a dead stop to, or literally went to a dead stop to 0 mile an hour almost right there.
Well, and since I know Robert's listening, we were talking on Monday about just making sure that wall's solid, and he asked me, he questioned me about it. That's why you don't really test it too often, because sometimes the wall will do that to you.
Thunderstorms are never a good thing when it comes to internet.
Well, that going back
pits here. Oh, sorry, Brett.
Oh, no, that's
but looks like we're
yeah.
here. The
About
44 and the
cars.
40. Yeah, and they took tires. The 44 and the 40 did, while other guys elected not to.
You're right at that window that you want for tires, but I still think it's a little bit too early. I'd rather be over than under. But going back to that caution with Christopher Woodard in the 2, I was watching, and just coming out of the corner, I could hear just how wound up that car was. Just sounds like he got back to the gas just a little bit too early, and his high RPMs, when it loads off out of the corner, man, really easy to light up that right rear.
Definitely. Even looking at Ken Zeems, he did not take tires, but he just sat in his box, waiting for the 44 to leave almost. So he decided to play a little bit of strategy here and not take tires. So 44 taking those tires early here, 36 laps into this race, and that 40 deciding to save him. I think that might be a smart move, personally, Brandon.
Well, I think that'd be the move that I'd have to make, Zach. I definitely always want to be the guy that's, close to the last guy to use their last set. I think that's always a smart play.
Yeah, I think it's always smart to have in your back pocket. And these guys out front still have their 3 sets left in pit road, as Nick at the 29 has yet to take any, so is the 48 and the 22. And then from there, I don't have a clue. I need to find a way to be able to monitor when the last tire stop was, not the fuel. But it's interesting to see how these strategies always play out. I'm new to this, and man, I've really enjoyed the tire limit they've added. It's thrown a whole new aspect into the game of racing, and it's really changed it up, I'd say.
Oh, absolutely. I'm never really been one of the guys that are super fast on brand new tires. I like the long run speed, and I feel like this new tire limit just plays into how I like to drive the cars. So big fan of it. If I could get away with just the minimum amount of tires, I'd be all right with that too.
Awesome. Yeah, it's definitely something I enjoy too, man. It gives you a lot of options. It gives you a lot of options. And in iRacing, it's always okay, we ran 5 laps, let's go put 4 tires on, type of deal half the time in iRacing. So it's good to see, different, having to actually manage tires, and actually that comes into a factor now in racing, instead of really just, 100% push as hard as you can. So what's going to be interesting is to see the 44 on the new tires. I want to see how fast he comes through the field, really, because I believe he should be one of the only guys on tires, and we see how fast he is with on the older tires too. Well, I'm sure he'll be pretty darn quick here when they put these before fresh ones on.
Well, look for him to pull a Larry Yingling and get up back to the front within 2 laps.
Yeah. I never would have thought I'd seen that before. Oh man, that one is. We all learned there that you could. The new tires are pretty good.
Yeah, you have no idea how surprised I was to see a car not only outside of me but flying by me. It was quite a shock. So a little bit to put in the memory bank.
Definitely is. Here's when we come to 3 and 4. Nick Ratter is leading us here. 29 as that pace car pulls off to the left. About to get this thing back going. Here's Brandon Brown on the outside row there with him, the 48.
Green.
It'll be green flag in the air. The 48, way better launch than the 29. He's going to clear going off into 1. So 29, a little bit there sleeping on the green flag, guys.
Well,
the 48 misses the top, missed the bottom, started to jump in there. Wow, he missed the whole bottom.
Well, it's the second time that we've seen him do that, Zach. I know I struggle with 1. It's just a unique entry, and the way you approach that corner is a bit different than how you normally approach really any other corner that we'd run. So maybe he just doesn't have it down.
You know, it's really easy to miss that corner. That's one of the easier corners to miss personally. And also around the restart, especially, you think you're going slower than what you would be, entered there before, but then you kind of overdo it. You miss the corner. I've done that plenty of times leading at this racetrack, and kind of like a fool. But yeah, it's definitely a shit. Here's a ride on 4 with Nick, and look at him, nice beautiful line there on the bottom. The 48 using a little bit of a different line. They also got the 49 there, Drew behind the 29. So,
well, Zach, the 44 is already up to 4th.
Yep, yeah, he definitely is. We'll ride on board here with him now as we go through the famous dog leg here at ISM. And man, oh man, those tires are amazing. And if I was him though, you gotta be patient too and not burn them tires up, because now, the 49 in front of him, little moment, we'll go side by side into 1. I think the 44 is going to clear it. Oh man, if you can see in the mirror, there's the 49 go by, and that was close, ladies and gentlemen. I will tell you that it was very, very close between that right front fender of that 49 and the left rear quarter panel of that 44 going off in 1.
That is absolutely what you do not want to see when you're on fresh tires catching the guys ahead of you, is you do not want to get caught up in something like that. It is heartbreaking.
That it is. Look at the 44 go. He's going to go to the inside of Nick here, nice and easy. Yeah, these tires, man, they're just so important in iRacing. And in front of him, Brandon Brown. And I don't know how much longer Brandon Brown's going to hold on to it, but we'll see.
Well,
I'd say
Zach,
1 corner.
give him a lap, if that.
Yeah.
I think he'll lead this lap, but he's done after that. And, Ryan, he's in a really good position. He doesn't have to push that hard because he's just naturally going to be faster and get to the lead and then just drive away.
48 overdrove it again into 1. Yeah, he was attacking that corner trying to stay on the outside of that 44, but at the same time, I think you got to play in your mind that, it's... Oh, got a caution, guys. Oh, looks like the 2 car again, guys. Lost it in the middle of 1 and 2, I believe. So we'll go and replay here and see what happened to the 2 of Christopher Woodard.
Ooh.
Now we'll be coming through 3 and 4 here on the replay, and it'll be going off into 1 here. The incident here with the number 2 that has brought out our 3rd yellow, I believe, of the night. Whoa! I think that was a case of downshifting.
Downshifting, I don't know why you would want to downshift into 1 and 2. I would never think that was a good idea, but it kind of looked to me like maybe he just tried to go in a little bit too hot.
Right.
And the back end just stepped out on him. And then he comes down and tags the 19. That's bad for the 19. I'm sure he was expecting him just to hold the brakes there, but easy to do. It's easy to go into 1 super tight, and then if you just try to get a little too much with too much rear brake, easy to lose the back end and go around like that.
Definitely is. And I'll go back and make sure what I'm saying is correct. No, he did not downshift. Yeah, just lost it on turning, really.
19 with a decent bit of damage here on the left front, and I think the right rear. I don't think that left front damage is going to be from the contact with the 2. I think maybe he got loose at some point and hit the wall like the 2 did earlier, but contact from the 2 seems pretty minimal, so it shouldn't hurt him at all.
Yeah, I think he'll be all right with that there in the 19 or what number was it? Oh yeah, 19. I'm sorry. Oof, I'm lost my train of thought there for a second, but yeah, looks like the rest of everybody is gonna stay out here, and I think that is the smart call. But it is right in that range, so if you were gonna pit and take tires, this would possibly be that time that you want to do that. So interested to see everybody staying out, as we actually did have the 23 of Drew Bordeaux and the 36 of Kyle Speeds come down. Let's see if these guys took tires. Kyle Speeds on new 4 tires there, so yeah, see the 36 what he can do on the 4 tires, as he'll restart about 14th. So far
better tires than Ryan, but I don't think it's gonna matter too much. I don't think he used up his to where it'd even out too much with the rest of the field. So Ryan, I expect to pull away here on this restart and hope that it goes green. His strategy really only works if it goes green. If they get another caution in 15 laps or so, and you've got Ken Zeems that's waiting to take tires, he's going to drop really quickly.
Yeah, that is for sure, and it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I think a lot of these guys, what they're doing is they're trying to kind of take the fuel and stretch the run so they can maybe make it into a 2-stop instead of a 3-stop right here. Then that'll save them that 1 set of tires for if we do have a late race caution. And you've seen how fast the 44 came up through. Well, if everybody else has got 1 set of tires, then the track position loss is not going to be that minimal for people taking tires. So you always got to account that. And like you said, maybe pull Larry Yingling, just go right around the top side, ride the wall, and drive off into the sunset. Because man, oh man, I'll tell you, them tires, those things are good. And then when you don't have the tires, you're sitting there going, man, why did I take them?
You mentioned the trying to turn it into a 2-stop race. I think if you can, that might be the right play here. Again, I like it if the race goes green. So far, we're trending to 20 lap stints or so. So I wouldn't put too much stock in that. But on the hope that it goes green, I like that play a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I think if you'd came down here and got some fuel on it, especially at Kyle Speeds, he put himself in a pretty good shot, even though he won't have an extra set if he does a 2-stop still to the end here. But if you can make it a 2-stop and have that extra set of tires, like you said, you might catch caution near the end. 20 laps, little runs here, and man, you never know when racing. So we'll see how it plays out here as pace cars look to cool off. Here goes taking this left turn. Ryan Goodell going to lead us back to the green with Brandon Browning on the outside. Green, see who's paying attention this time as that green flag is out. The 48 gets another great launch. And the 44 going to try to stay even as he goes clearing off into 1 and 2. Easily done with the 2 tires.
Yeah, and looking at Browning's restarts, I think a lot of other people are just being really cautious about wheel spin. And I think he feels confident that he can handle the wheel spin, so it's just max power down for him.
That it is, and great restarts on his side. As we see, the rest of the field, I think, is going to get a little bit smaller in the rear of that 44 as those tires come to the factor. An old man in the back, go back here the 9 into the back of the 50. Oh, John Gallagher held on to it. What a save! They're looking at 2 go through the middle on the apron. You got the 36 on new tires on the high side. Man, oh man, it's getting crazy back here.
Yeah, you see, lucky for Christopher Woodard, he parted the Red Seas there and passed that little group of cars. And it was a really good job of keeping them cars pointed north with the contact. That could have got bad in a hurry.
Yeah, really, it's amazing. He's up to 7th in the 2-car after all the troubles he's had tonight here so far early in this race.
I think he didn't take new tires. I think he just maybe settled down a bit and is taking care of the ones he's got now with the caution laps. That really helps him cool down and get another shot at it.
Yeah, there goes Kyle Spees by him on the outside, and so does the 9 of Christopher Lawrence. So Kyle Spees on them new tires in that 36. Starting to charge up through. He started 14th on this restart. He's up to 7th, so already 7 spots up. It'll be interesting to see where he goes from here. And you know something interesting is Ken Zeems back here running 12th. 7.7 seconds behind. He seems to be very, very cautious in my opinion. He seems to have really, really good pace, you know, with compared to the leader. But just ever since that pit stop, he's been very, very cautious, it seems like, in that 40, trying to stay out of trouble. And our producers say he's got nose damage.
Oh, he does.
Does he? Oh. That he does? Man, yeah, that... Maybe he might be managing a heating issue. This center punch right in the center. And, it's, you know, that's going to hurt the aerodynamic performance, and this track does have a little bit of aero. You're going over 100 mile an hour the whole time, so there is some aero playing in a factor. Nothing like a mile and a half would be, but man, yeah, he may be having to make sure he doesn't overheat here too. So it's hard game to play.
It's a very difficult thing to have happen when you know you're fast. It's just so frustrating to have to back off if you have a heating issue. Happened to me last Saturday with a little bit of contact and just couldn't keep up the pace on fresh tires with everybody else. And just seeing guys you know that you're faster than go by, I think he's maybe waiting until the end of the race to use his fast repair and look for a chance to get back to the lead, Zach.
Yeah, and he's going to go by the 2 of Christian Warner. It's going to put him up to that 9th position. So he is starting to claw his way back into this. Here is the 9 in front, or the 23 of Drew there in front of him, with also the 9 of Christopher Lawrence in 8th. So not too far behind those 2 positions, but then to 7th, it's a good chunk of time. So let's see what he can do to make up that.
Well, Zach, you want to talk about a good chunk of time? The gap right now for Ryan Goodell is almost 11 seconds.
Yeah. He's 4.5 now on Brandon Browning, and like you said, about 11 seconds to get things back there to 10th. And that is that's a pretty nice gap here at Phoenix. That really, I mean, he can sit up here and manage personally. You know, no reason to go out here and burn up the extra set of tires you have. You know, you're already pulling away. You could really probably put it on cruise control, as I like to call it, and just, you know, manage those tires. As Brandon Browning right now running second, he's got about a half a second gap to the 29, but look, here comes the 36 of Kyle Spees to the inside of the 29 of Nick, and you're going to see it right here going off in a 3. He's going to clear up to that 3rd position with those new tires.
And looking at Ryan and Kyle's last laps, almost identical, running almost identical laps here, about 0.2 quicker than Browning at the moment, the both of them. And now with that past lap, 0.5 quicker than Browning. So Kyle should be able to get by Browning pretty easily. I don't know how quickly he's going to be able to catch up to Ryan, though.
Very, very true. We'll see how that works out there. You're going to see to the inside now. That 36 to the inside of the 48 to that 2nd position. 36 looking strong.
And fresh tires make anybody look strong, that's for sure.
Oh, they definitely will. And you know, he started in that 4th position, and I noticed early in the run he was, you know, I would say that one of the top 4 guys on that longer run pace. So, you know, a little bit fresher also than the leader. Like maybe 5 laps fresher than the leader. So maybe he has a good shot here. And also has more fuel than the leader. Also, we must point that out. So, not saying the race is going to go green, but if it was to go green, I think you might be looking at the guy to beat personally, the way the strategy can play out.
Oh, absolutely. That extra bit of fuel Even though the tires are gonna, you know, when Ryan pits, tires are gonna put him in behind the 8-ball. That gap that he's gonna be able to get by staying out, and then the extension for the next stop is gonna be really valuable towards the end of the race.
It definitely is, and even looking at the times now, everything's starting to even out pretty evenly through the field. Really, Brandon Browning, Nick Radar, Aaron Barnicle, Matthew Jagger, and Drew Holleran. These guys are all running about 28.6 to 28.9 to our leader's 28.5, who was passing a lap car last time by. But man, Ken Zeems back here on the older tires, he ran 28.60 right there, but the lap before was a 28.32, very comparable to the leader. He's up to 9th now, and he's actually starting to make a little ground here on the 23, and everybody else in front of him is getting a little bit bigger also in his front windshield. So yeah, maybe Ken Zeems will rebound here with that little bit of damage, and if we can have a good long run here, I would not be surprised to see him up into that 3rd position by the end of it.
Well, I'm really surprised to see that. I just noticed before you pointed it out, Zach, that he's only a 10th off the leader's pace, even with that nose damage. You know, once everything settles down and the tires wear, and that damage isn't quite as major as it is on fresh tires. And slowly but surely, he's working his way back up to the front.
That he is, and yeah, a lot of these guys running in the high 28s right now. So definitely looking pretty strong. A lot of guys missing the bottom of 1 and 2 also on these older tires, just overdriving that entry. It's very, very easy to do, like we were talking about earlier.
It's so deceptive looking, Zach. When you come down the straightaway, in the middle of the corner, you know how much banking it has, but that banking isn't there right away. You have to slow down so much more than you would anticipate, and it's, like you said, super easy to miss.
Yeah, especially where 3 and 4 is. You know, 3 and 4 just seems so wide and sweeping in. It's almost, it wants you to attack it. And then 1 and 2, it's almost the opposite. You gotta, as Lee gets a kick out of this one, you gotta go in like a lamb and out like a lion.
Words of wisdom by Lee Tidwell.
Well, it's my saying, but he thinks it's the funniest saying ever he said it. So I can't remember what he said about it. He's like, that's interesting. In like a lamb, out like a lion. So he got a good kick out of that one. I like to use that, but I heard it from Darrell Waltrip, so I can't say it's mine, but I can use it, I guess.
It's not trademarked. We're all right.
Right, exactly. And we're right here with Drew Bordeaux, and man, his times are pretty good too. A 28.5. He was running 28.3s and 4s. I believe he's also the other car than Kyle Speeds that took tires on the last stop, and so looking pretty good for the 7. We'll see. He's starting to close up on the 22, 29, 18, and that 48. As that's kind of turning into a little bit of a pack up here right now.
And you're right. He is one of the other cars that took tires. I think the only other car that took tires with Kyle Speeds, and it's a little bit slower progress, but you know, patience. Got to be there at the end to win the thing.
Definitely do, and the reason to burn it up now, but really looking at the times as we're riding here with the 18, he's trying to get up to the 48. You can see him dead sideways. Look, this is young Jimmy Johnson versus 2020 Jimmy Johnson. I think we might know who wins this one. In the 2020 Jimmy's running right now. 2020 Jimmy's running, but I tell you what, 06 Jimmy is, actually it's that 08. I cannot remember what year that was. He was from. Pretty sure 08. So he's looking to close in and close this chase out.
Yeah, looking at Kyle and Ryan at the front, the interval is extended a bit in Ryan Goodell's favor, but the lap times are still about a 10th quicker for Kyle Speeds. And one thing about this track is its consistency. It's a lot like Martinsville. You can't gain that much time per lap, but if you do it consistently, that's where it counts.
Yeah, you just brought up a huge point of short track racing. I think really any short track is, you know, you got to be able to hit that lap time over and over and over again. You can see a guy who can hit a quick lap time and then the next 5 laps are just all over the place, and then they hit another quick lap time.
I'll raise my hand for that one.
It's so easy to do, man. These tracks are rhythm tracks. You get out of that rhythm just a little bit, you start chasing that lap time, and you also just, you know, sitting in our race car, in a normal race car, you see everything. You don't have a gap, you know, in front of you saying, hey, you're 5 seconds behind. You look at that gap after 2 laps and say, oh, I'm 4.5 seconds behind, or, you know, 5.5 seconds behind. These guys are just driving the car, you know, you won't have that distraction. So. And also our producer just brought up a good point in our ear here. He, you know, I even said this earlier, I believe, where Ken Zeems was running that really low line through the dog leg. Leader Ryan Goodell, he's elected not to take that dog leg, and I actually am a fan of that. That's usually what I do if I get comfortable and I feel like my pace is good enough, I don't need to use it. I usually just ride around the dog leg. I don't think it's worth it sometimes. If you got the pace and your car feels good, I don't see a point in taking it personally.
I completely agree with you, Zach. It's not really necessary when you're, you know, already faster. It's a method to gain time. You know, if you're trying to get that position to make the pass on the inside of 3, and it just seems to burn up the right rear a bit, just how flat the track is right there, and all that weight leaned over on the right side. I just don't think it's going to help you in the long run.
Yeah, we actually had a pass there. And it was a 48 of Brandon Browning coming off of 4 there in that 3rd position. Just completely almost lost into the inside wall. And the 18 of Arn, the 22 of Matthew, just go on by there to take the 3rd and 4th. So, man, this really from 3rd to 7th, it is really, really tight right now.
And looking at Browning stack, he just keeps making that same wide exit on 48. It just seems his tires, he's struggling as he's coming in for tires here.
That he is going to come down. Looks like the 29 is going to follow him. The 2 cars deciding to pit here on lap 78 of 160. And see, these guys pitted last on. Second, I will get that.
We'll have to see. We'll have to keep an eye out on those guys to see how much ground they can make up, because I don't think Brian's going to have to pit for a decent bit. Now, I mean, neither is Kyle Spees, obviously, but how much ground they make up if they can chase them back down, get their lap back, and consistently be quicker and maybe gain some positions in the long run, Zach.
Yeah, I think that's what they're trying to do here. They're definitely, they're not going to be able to make it, I believe, on one stop here. You know, I don't see anybody going another, you know, 80 laps here green. Definitely not going to happen for these guys. So they're still going to have to make 2 more stops. But, yeah, they got 2 sets of tires also still in the pits, so they still have a chance. And here you see they're going to be right here behind the leader. She's going to pass. The 48 there is going to pass the 44 of Ryan Goodell off of 1, I believe. They go there side by side. And yes, the 48 will, and that'll get him back to a 1 lap down. So still 1 whole lap he needs to make up on him, and that's going to be tough. So now you hope for not a caution now if you're Brandon Browning or Nick to the 29.
Well, I'll tell you the good thing is that he came out so close on being 2 laps down to the leader, because if a caution came out now, he can take the wave around and still be in a pretty good position. But if it came out, you know, just a little bit before he was able to get by the 44, stuck 2 laps down, it's going to be hard to come back from.
Definitely is. Now also, I mean, he either wants this thing to go completely green, or you don't want to go 20 laps, 30 laps and not get that lap back, that full lap back. You want to at least cycle through where the leaders are going to pit, because taking that wave around, you're not going to be able to take tires, and that'll just kill you on the longer run. So we got the 18 coming out of pits here too, the 50 of John Gallagher on pit road, putting them 4 fresh ones on, and now our top 3 is shooken up to Ryan Goodell, Kyle Spees, and Drew Bordeaux. Look who's not too far behind for the 3rd position. Ken Zeems is about 2nd back now, Drew Bordeaux, and very, very interesting to see how these is all playing out. As Kyle Spees and Ryan Goodell, really similar paces. So it's still up in the air here.
Near
smoke.
It's a near miss for Ken Zeems there with the 19 slow in the dog leg as he was cutting it.
Yeah, that was very, very close there. Because we're right here with Russell Peets. That 28 looks like he's going to come bring that 28 down the pit road. as he's getting passed by a few guys on the newer tires, and that'll be, we'll have 5 guys left now without coming to pit road. So you got the top 5 there: Christopher Morris in 5th, 4th, Ken Zeems, 3rd, Drew Bordeaux, 2nd, Kyle Spees, and Ryan Goodell in 1st. And I tell you what, if Kyle Spees can make it to 110 or at least 105, I'd say, it's going to be interesting to see how it all works out, because, man, if he can make it on one more stop, I think Kyle Spees might have pulled or what would you call it? He got blackjack. He hit 21. I was gonna say the rabbit out the hat, but I changed it, mid-sentence. So Zach's wonderful sayings,
Deep thoughts brought to you by Zach.
we'll have to get that here. The producer, you write that down. We need to add a segment called Deep Thoughts for Zach. They won't be very deep. They'll be pretty shallow, trust me. So
big fish in a little pond.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a big fish in a little pond, that's for sure. But yeah, a lot of strategy being played out now. This is really a crucial time to see, how it all plays out. Really, if I'm Ryan Goodell, I'm staying out as long as I can to keep a lot of these guys trapped a lap down. And he's had such a big lead already that he'll come back out and probably be almost dead even with them, and drive by him again with the new tires. So he had the gap, that's for sure.
Ken Zeems called and he's pitting this time by. We had Christopher Lawrence come in and just slightly overshot his box, as we have Ryan Goodell coming in this time by.
Yeah, I was about to say, Ryan Goodell and Ken Zeems pitted on the same lap under caution, and yeah, that right there shows me that these guys could not make it much farther. And looking at that, they only went about 50 laps, almost 55. So really, the Kyle Spees, I'm not gonna lie, if he can make it to that 105 mark, he's looking very good. So another 15 laps made for him, and he can. Oh, in front of him, I just went look with him, and whoa, he just had a big moment with the car in front of him.
And I saw Kyle Spees key up there. I don't know if he said he was pitting or if he just hot mic'd for a second, so we'll have to watch that.
I think he popped on the mic because he got scared and had a brown moment, because the car ahead of him had a pretty big sideways moment right in front of him. But we'll see if he pits, as he's pretty high. I don't believe he'll be pitting this time. So yeah,
Zach,
I think that was just a brown moment.
There was a big moment coming out of pit road with the 9 car cutting the dog leg as Ryan Goodell was leaving the pits and just about clipped him. And we have a caution.
Out. 48 of Brandon Browning, I believe it is. Yeah, off of 3 out here. Man, oh man.
Well, looks like he got out of shape out of 2 and just overcooked 3. Got into the back of the 18. And looked a lot worse for him than it did the 18, that's for sure.
Yeah, you'll see here he misses 1 and 2. Pretty classic thing here to see from the 48. Oh, we got loose coming out too. 18 has the run coming down the back straightaway here on the replay. To the outside, the 18 clears him. And then the 48 kind of just runs right into the back of the 18. And then, wow, that big mistake there from the 48, I'd say.
Yeah, you just struggling with driving the car so far today, getting a good handle on the racetrack. Don't compound your mistakes and get put further and further behind. And it's a classic example of that. He's going to struggle now.
And we have Mr. Speed still the leader there with Drew Bordeaux second. Ryan Goodell was the last guy on the lead lap, and Matthew Jaggard is
sorry, Zach.
Yeah, Matthew Jaggard is actually I believe he'll get the lucky dog, unless that was Ryan that got it. Let's see here.
Jaggard, lucky dog.
Yep, there you go. So Jaggard will be lucky dog, and then the rest of these guys are going to take the wave. And yeah, that's interesting. But this also plays out pretty darn well for, I'd say, for Ken Zeems, Ryan Goodell, because they literally just pitted a few laps before this caution came out, and that'll really help their cause, because now they're going to take the wave around and be on still pretty fresh tires. The rest of these guys who pitted earlier, they're not too happy probably about that caution.
Yeah, I was gonna say right before that this is the time where everything gets all spread out. Everybody's kind of worn tires. You're driving the track and not you're racing the track. You're not racing the guys around you at that point. And normally when you see it that spread out, you don't have the risk of cautions unless you've got somebody that just loses it on their own. I think that might have been the result of fresh tires versus old tires, and that's one of the big things that we talked about earlier that you have to look out for.
Definitely have to look out for the comers and goers on the racetrack. And yeah, also another thing to point out here, Brandon Browning is not going to get the wave around because he has to come down to pit road and get that car worked on. So he'll have to pit here. That's going to keep him on a lap down. So that's going to really hurt his race.
Looking at it here, I don't think he's down on power, that Browning that is, and doesn't look like he's going to be taking his fast repair, just waiting into the pits, try to get that damage fixed best he can.
Yeah, probably a good, smart move to save that fast repair. You never know what could happen here. Still a good bit to go here at the Phoenix Raceway. It's going to get interesting also because, Kyle Spees and them pitting. Now, there's nobody who's going to be able to make it from here to the end. So everybody still has to take one more pit stop tonight to be able to make it to the end on fuel. So they all should have a set of tires left too. So this is going to play interesting. Ken Zeems, we must point out, has 2 sets of tires also, because it was his first time putting tires on tonight. Was coming down pit road, and he's actually not going to be that bad off now, only restarting 6th. So pretty good for the 40 here.
And sometimes, you play your strategy, and really the only way for strategies to work half the time is things have to fall in just the right order, and they are doing that exactly for Ken Zeems, playing the long game and coming out on top.
Definitely so there, Brandon, and looks like we'll have 6 cars here taking the wave, so that'll be Nick Ratter, Ken Zeems, Russell Peets, Drew Halloran, John Gallagher, and Christopher Lawrence. So that'll be 6 guys going to take the wave here, get back behind these leaders on the same lap, and they're pretty happy about that. But a few of these guys on some pretty old tires, so it's gonna be interesting. Also, Christopher Lawrence, I believe, he pitted pretty late also, so the 9's looking pretty decent. It's going to be lots of strategy still to the end, and I tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised if that extra set of tires for Ken Zeems comes in to big factor here at the end.
Oh, I'm absolutely sure it will. If they get a late race caution, say with 20 to go, I would absolutely expect Ken to come in and take that last set and just put the hammer down.
That's for sure. That's the whole goal of saving him, right? So might as well try something there with it. But those wave around cars now going around the racetrack and getting their lap back as you look back up front, that 44. This time you'll have Spees there, right there, restarting with him in second. So this gives Spees a better shot, and also Spees some better tires too again. So very, very good strategy from that 36 being played here tonight. That pace car will pull off here. We're about to take it back green as the green flag is out. The 44 is on it. 36, a decent little restart. Can he clear Drew Bordeaux for a second? We'll have to see here as they go off from 1 and 2.
Kyle with a pretty good run. Looks like he's going to clear him out, and maybe not going to cut the duck leg. I think I might have tried that there just to gain a little bit of time.
And looks like he does clear. He got the good run off the top of the dog leg. Look at him. Almost to the back bumper of the 44. Let's run the nose cam. Wow. What a run.
Either Kyle learned something about getting around here a little bit quicker, or the 44 learned something that, he needs to calm it down a little bit and not burn up the tires quite so quickly.
Did the 44 take tires? I gotta go back and look at this, guys. Huh? He definitely did. He definitely took tires. So it looks like he's saving the 36. No! Kyle
Oh.
Spees.
Yellow flag.
Oh, and everybody just narrowly escapes it. Oh, oh man.
From
That
bad
was
to worse, Kyle Spees.
Yeah. Oh, the 28. Russell Peets comes in there and hits him. I don't know who hit him before that, man, but goodness gracious. Go back and look at this, guys. Man, oh man, I think that was the 30. Daryl. Oh.
Yeah, 30 Daryl Arnold. Just slightly off reaction to seeing that car stopped on the front stretch. And something we alluded to on Monday that, this front stretch here, if something happens out of 4, you've got nowhere to go. And you see all these cars spinning, and it's a good job that it was only, 3 or so that had damage from this wreck, because that could have been really bad.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It's really just, you gotta slow down when the yellow comes out. That's really the biggest thing I can say about that. It was out for a good couple minutes there, and it's just, I think the 28 really, I mean, yeah, he could have probably slowed down a little better too, but I don't think he expected that 36 to be spinning like a top after the 30 hit him. Man, the 30 just completely plowed through him, and man, oh man, tell you what, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, and it's one of those deals where you see the guy that's spun and he looks to be completely stopped holding the brakes, and you're like, okay, I got a gap. I'm just gonna maintain speed here. So you don't necessarily slow down way too much, but then just something happens like that, and no reaction, no time to react to that, and it's really frustrating.
Yeah, Kyle Speeds did a good job of holding the brake, at least to staying where he was at. That's personally a lot of problems that people make is, you spin and then you start to move. It's the best thing to do is let the field go by. I think that was his goal, as he really only had a car width between him and the wall. And everybody else did a good job getting by. The 30 and the 19 were side by side, and the 30 just did not react soon enough. And man, that's, like you said, stuff happens here quick. There's not a lot of areas to go. You got to be on your P's and Q's. As Ken Ziem's down here, we're looking at him. He's up to third still with that nose damage, saving that fast repair, I believe. But you're going to see the 48, I believe, here looking to try to get the wave, but the 44 is not going to be pitting, or neither is the 23. So, yeah, they are going to be staying out, and that will keep the 48 still a lap down here.
Well, I guess Ken's thinking, I'm doing just fine with the nose damage. Let's not mess with a good thing. Maybe it's helping the car.
Yeah, the way I look at it is, it's not too detrimental. If that's already the optional repairs fixed and they got all that done, I think you really just need to go with what you got. And then if you need the fast repair, I mean, that fast repair very well could have come into effect right there with the 36 if there wouldn't have been a big enough gap. It's using one of the cars that just squeezed through the top. You always want to have that ace in your back pocket to pull out at that right moment.
And as we know, sometimes the visuals here on iRacing, they're a bit buggy, so the damage may not look as bad as it looks to us.
Yep. Yeah, it may not be nowhere near as bad. Sometimes, it is always interesting to see what different people see. But definitely some splitter on our replay here. But like I said, not too big an issue here. It will affect the car. I think mostly short run than anything. And
oh, absolutely.
I think his long run pace will overcome that, though. So we'll have to see. I think we got a good little battle on our hands, though, now. If I'm that 44, I'm a little bit worried about that 40.
Yeah, he had one competitor that was really strong and just made a slight lapse, but very next one, he's only 2 cars back. They're probably the 3 best cars all night.
Definitely. You got to give a shout out to Drew there in the second and the 23. He's played the strategy excellent tonight. Jumped up from 11th to 2nd, so really good. And actually, Drew Bordeaux, as we have 2 Drews up. Both Drews have actually done a great job. But 13th for 5th for Drew Haller. So,
and I'll tell you, Zach, one thing that I've noticed is that sometimes it's easy to, convince yourself, I guess, that you don't have the speed to run with the guys up front because your only gauge is the guys around you. So maybe now that Drew's found his way to the front, he'll try to, see what the 44s do and find that he in fact does have a little bit more speed than he initially thought and make a run for it.
Great point there, Brandon. Yeah, it's running that it helps so much. If you're off pace and then run up front with the guys that are the quickest guys on the racetrack, you just see what they're doing. You see where they're lifting, where they're braking, where they're getting back on the gas, rolling onto it. It really, really helps a lot personally to see that stuff. So, yeah, let's see what happens here. As our pace car's getting ready to take that hard left turn off to the pit road, and hopefully that's the last time we see that for the night, and we'll see how this strategy plays out here. But green flag is in the air. 44 of Ryan Goodell, decent restart. 23 of Drew, not bad at all either. Side by side, the 1 and 2, and Drew up to the 4th lane. So easy to do. Ken Zeem's gonna look to try to take that 2nd position now in that 4th. Take down the dogleg.
Everybody starting to get single filed out. We got a couple side by sides back through, but it looks like they're going to zipper their way into turn 3 here. And apart from the 29, get it all straightened out. Got a nice run off of for it. See if you can clear him coming out of 2.
Yes, sir. And there you look back here, the 50 of John Gallagher. Sorry about that. Battle with the 29 and Nick Ratter. I was looking at my list, and my brain wasn't registered. As Nick makes the pass around the outside, and he'll go to try to get up here with the 9 of Christopher Lawrence.
Yeah, I was looking for a name, and then my brain just gave. That's why all you heard was an
Yeah, if you ever hear me say it's usually my brain. The wheels are turning somewhere in there. A little hamster running on the wheel, but
lagging in real life.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of lag. The 23 hits the wall. As you can see on board from Christopher Lawrence, the 23 and Drew overdrove it into 3 and 4. That's gonna let the 40 of Ken Zeems back into 2nd place. Now let's see what happens here as this run goes on. I tell you what, Ryan Goodell he's been so good getting out the good lead here early in these runs.
Well, I mean, it's nice to have that gap where you can kind of back off and force the guy to charge to you and make mistakes. And they've only got a lap difference on their tires between 44 of Ryan Goodell and the 40 of Ken Zeems. So the lap times are pretty even. Oh no! Oh no! Great jobs by Zeems. Oh my Jesus, that was really close.
Whew. Oh man, I don't know how Zeems held on to that. That's gonna let the 22 get by him. He's got to have to rebound from that. But man, what a save! His rear end's looking like it's running now, guys. So it's got matching front bumper with the rear bumper now. So we'll go back to the inside of the 22 here, try to get that 2nd position back, man.
Man, that scared me that bad. I don't even want to know how he was feeling after that.
Yeah. I know I'd feel a little bit scared, a little bit confused, and a little bit mad too at the same time. So, yeah, man, Drew just got in there way too deep in that 23. Let's look back here at the 49 of Drew Howler. But yeah, it's kind of easy to do, and I think what you're seeing is Ken just really backing the corners up, trying to get those great exits. And you seen the lap before, the 23 really overshoot the corner twice. So I think the 23 was just overdoing it a little bit, trying to hold up that 2nd position. And like I said, it's his first time really up there all day, up in that position. Sometimes people get in that position and they just overdo it just a little bit here. It's the 29. Looks like the gas monkey car here is our producer is singing us beautiful tunes here, and he's gonna look to attack the 9 of Christopher Lawrence. This is gonna be for a top 3 position.
Oh, it looks like he's making a good run. Let's see where he pit last. They both pit on 101. I think Nick may have taken tires then. 14.7 to Christopher Lawrence's 6.4 second pit stop. So this may just be a matter of when and just being patient to get by him here.
Definitely could be. Gotta have a lot of patience here at the ISM Speedway. Or Speedway, I've been calling it is ISM, Robert. Read the top. We're having an argument right now, guys, about I've called it 30 different things tonight. I've called it Phoenix Raceway, Phoenix Speedway, ISM Raceway, I've called it so many different things. I don't even know what it is anymore. We're in the
have a
desert,
caution.
and we got a yellow.
Daryl Arnold.
Oh no, 30 of Daryl Arnold here. Issue with the dog leg looks like. So we'll go back on replay here and check this out with the 30 machine, and we will give us a lap here with the 30 before his unfortunate spin. As he goes off on the 1 here. Look at the inside of 50, overshoots it. Woo! Yeah, that'll get the rear tires hot. And then he comes up, slaps the wall coming out too, and that's going to spin him into the dogleg. Just a little overzealous there, trying to get the position from the 50.
Yeah, he tried to pull some type of slider, but just a little bit too much, I guess. And 50, I guess, anticipated it. Just a little bit too hot on corner exit. Really easy to catch that wall. It comes up super quick.
That it does, and we'll see Ken Zeems coming down pit road. Remember, he's got that extra set, so he's still got 2 sets. He can come down, put this set on, and still have another set. But my thing is here, you can make it to the end from here. I don't know how the 44 did not pit there. I mean, maybe he wants to make sure he has that extra set now because they'll be even on 1 set to go. But man, yeah, the strategies are playing here now, and we're gonna see who it hurts the most.
I don't think that I'm trying to consider here what strategy Ryan Goodell could be playing, because you know that the tires are going to be super fast compared to yours. I mean, you don't have very many laps on them. It's about 30. It's not super bad, but you're not going to be able to, jump out to as big a lead as you had previously to, hope that he's going to wear his tires out before he catches you. That's just not going to happen. So maybe he is trying to save that last set for that late race caution, so maybe they'll be on equal footing. That's the only thing I can think of saying.
Yeah, that's my question. The only thing I question about this, if we say we do go green here to the end, does he have enough fuel? That's my question. I don't believe you will have enough fuel where he stopped at that part of the green run earlier. So, yeah, I mean, Ken Zeems, I think that was a no-brainer. Yeah, he's going to drop down to last place in the pack, down to 10th. But he had an extra set of tires. This puts him good to go on fuel. I mean, really, any way he looks at it, he's still pretty decently off, unless a pretty quick caution comes out here, which I think he'll stay out, though, while these other guys come down. So there's a lot of things that can play out, and we're just going to have to ride along with these guys and see how it plays out.
And absolutely disastrous if it goes green for Ryan Goodell, but if there's a quick caution, might be a saving grace. We'll have to look out for it.
Definitely will. Definitely will. These guys continue to pace around ISM Raceway, Robert. Just so y'all know, he does not want me to call it ISM. He says it's Phoenix. We just call it Phoenix, but I'm reading what iRacing gives us, man.
Arizona Motor Speedway.
Arizona Motor Speedway. That's gonna be the new name of it. It seems like they rename this track all the time. Oh yeah, that's right. This is Jeff Gordon Raceway. That's right. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, I forgot they did that.
Or if they'll do it Jimmy Johnson's Raceway here in his career too when they come back. So, I mean, which it is the championship race this year, also in Cup Series. So, it'll be interesting. Also, the good point is that this is their last race of the regular season. I believe, if I'm correct. Yeah, okay, yeah, I got confirmation. Yes, this is the last race of the regular season for Cup Season, so they will go into the playoffs next week, and yeah, at Kansas. Top 16 drivers going to Kansas with a shot at a championship. It's all gonna kick off there next week here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Man, I can't wait.
Speaking of the last race, the bubble drivers that we are looking at is, I believe that's Stephen Ford, who did not make the race. So right now, Drew Halloran is on the bubble in 16th, and Ryan Goodell is behind him by 12 points, or yes, 12 points.
Wow.
So I think if he wins, he's in.
Wow. Yeah, that's crucial here tonight for Ryan. Then 49-44 going at it here before the playoffs start. Who will make it in? See how this restart goes. Green flag is out. 44, great restart there with the 29 and Nick on the high side. It looks like he's going to pull down, try to clear the bottom. Couldn't get in front of the 9, but I think he'll be able to clear him off the top here. The nice run.
We'll have to see. Up there goes the 9 down to the cut the dog leg and try to get a little bit closer and straight by him into 3 here. And a good fight by the 29 on the outside, Zach.
Definitely is. I think right here is where we have. Oh, and I got a caution. Looks like that was the
41 of Chris Malcolm, I believe.
Oh, Browning also. Yeah, that started around the 48 there. Brandon Browning there, off of the 3 and 4. So we'll go back on replay here. Check this one out here. Off through the dog leg, 48 there, following him. At the 41 in front of him with Chris Malcolm, and a little touch to the rear end of the 48, or from the 48 to the 41, and yeah, pretty similar to what we've seen earlier from Brandon. So unfortunate for him there to get caught up in another incident, and I think that's going to keep him again a lap down. So trying to rebound from that early incident. Looks like he got caught up in another one. So things seem to compile at short tracks, don't they, Brandon?
They really do. It's easy once you get frustrated. You just kind of drive with that chip on your shoulder, makes you drive a little bit harder, and it just compounds mistakes. It's so easy to make mistakes at short tracks, and they add up way, way, way quicker than any other type of track that we run at.
That they do. Very easy to make simple mistakes here. You know, it's a place where you can get, like I said earlier, it's such a rhythm track, but you can get so off rhythm so easily. It's just little things can just put you out of your game, and man, it'll be a long night for somebody if they just, you know, keep getting caught up in stuff. And that's unfortunately what happens in short track racing, but that's why it also makes it so exciting, because you never know what is going to happen. As it looks like, strategy 29 comes down to 23, or the 9. I mean, Christopher Lawrence. Sorry about that. Yeah, he almost took a water barrel home with him tonight.
I did not know that was the trophy that they were giving out today at Arizona Motor Speedway.
I didn't either. And man, I tell you what, that was pretty close there for the 9.
You know, water's pretty valuable here in the desert, so maybe there's something to that.
Yeah, that's true. You might be a little dehydrated right now, but
go pawn the water barrel off in the general admission parking.
Robert's just talking about selling water. Just man.
Well, Zach, going back to something you mentioned earlier with Ken Zeems, where he was just backing up the corners and got some contact in the back by, I guess, somebody that wasn't expecting it. You know, you really have to pay attention to what the guys in front of you are doing, and it's you really have to remember what each and every driver that you're consistently racing around, how they're approaching this track. And it just seems that Browning is trying to gain his time on entry.
Yep.
Because he's struggling on exit so much, and it's just maybe a bit of misjudgment there, and maybe just a little bit of an overdrive by the car that came in underneath him and slid up slightly, and he wasn't expecting it. But you know, it's not productive to to overdrive the corners here. You
Yeah.
want to do like Ken Zeems and back him out and try to get that straighter run, because driving him in that hard with that much wheel to keep him in the lane, that's where you force the loose condition off the corner, and we've seen that quite a bit tonight from the 48.
Yeah, definitely. You know, entry is a place where you can gain a lot of time, and it actually you see it physically when you gain that time on entry to somebody a lot more than what you would almost gain that time middle off and carrying down the straightaway. But like you said, you have to be so aware when you get behind someone that you don't know when they're going to lift, you don't know when they're going to brake. So you always, my rule of thumb is always when you're behind someone, just back it up, you know, more than you ever would. And that usually tends to be how, you know, you try to set up a pass too. I mean, you don't make passes driving it in there deeper than the guy ahead of you. You make passes by getting the runoff in these cup cars and carrying that run down the straightaway to get to the inside of them, so they have no choice but to give it to you going into that next corner. You know, it's tough to really try to make passes on entry. You know, especially late passes on entry. It's never a good idea in my opinion. I've always recommended the backing up of the corner. So, gotta completely agree with you there, Brendan.
He says as he charged the crap out of every corner at North Wilkesboro and scared me anytime I was in front of him.
I didn't hit you though. I'm good at that.
No, you didn't.
I get close though. His face kind of moves up. Green flag is out, and yeah, you know that is a strength of some drivers, man. Like some drivers, like I do tend to actually attack the corners pretty hard, but you gotta have a know when to back it up, you know. And you can't attack it every time like that, and that can lead to tire wear also. So, man, oh man, the 9, he went down to the concession stands.
Getting a bit hot under the collar. Need some ice cream down there. Just passing it out over the wall.
He tried to get the water barrel first. Now he's trying to get some ice cream. Maybe he'll find lead down there with the funnel cake or something. Riding a whatever they have, armadillos or. That's Texas, man.
Armadillo funnel cake services. And the 23 diving it into 3, making contact with the 22.
The 22, what a save! And look at the 23. Oh, he just drifted it. Tokyo drift 3 wide. Ken Zeems to the bottom.
Oh no!
The 22 and the 23 spin. Oh, we're gonna have a caution. Man, oh man. And not saying Robert foreshadowed that, but he said that is not going to work before he went to the corner. And he was right. That was not going to work.
Yep, that is a perfect example of what we were just talking about, Zach. You can charge the corners and you can make time doing it, but you have to be super careful. It is the easiest way to make mistakes on the racetrack is overdriving a corner and not having the grip in that right front. It is so easy to do.
Definitely is. You'll see here. Off into 1. Looks like the 22 coming down, 22, and then the 23 kind of staying in the middle right there. I think the 23 was looking at the 40 down below, which he was clear. So, yeah, I think the 22 was expecting the 23 to give him a lot more room there into the middle. And there goes the 49. Oh, Kyle Spees comes into a little bit of contact there on the right front. You see Brandon Browning drifting there in the 48, throwing a little smoke up. But, yeah, the 22 there just kind of, you know, I'd say I'd say that's one of those deals where it's a little bit of a racing deal, but also about a 60-50 or 60-40 type of deal. 23 kind of up the track a little bit more than the 23 expected, and that's what caused that.
Zach, I want to point out the absolute worst part of that entire caution. Our bubble driver, Drew Halloran, in the 49 was involved.
Oh, no. Hopefully he has a fast repair here. We'll check that out. I think he does, actually.
I hope so, because he's driving a modified right now on mine.
Yeah, there he is. He's clean now. Yep,
he's got it now.
Good to go.
There we go.
So still in the fight here. But man, oh man, now this really is interesting. How much fuel could Ryan Goodell save in the 9? Can they make it to the end now? Because they still have not decided to pit. And Ken Zeems still with an extra set of tires like the 2 in front of him. He's up to 3rd. So
Waiting for everything
this
to
is about
cycle
crazy.
back around on timing to figure out the exact point differential between Ryan Goodell and Drew Halloran at the moment. I believe it is 6 points out of the 12 that he needs, that Ryan Goodell needs to gain on Drew to take that final playoff spot.
Yeah, it's going to be tough with the amount of cars here getting into instances. And Drew's still surviving, but the thing is do you know how many bonus points they get for a race win here?
I do not know.
So yeah, that'll be interesting to how that affects the most laps led. Also, you know, really how their bonus points plays out is how close it will be. You know, a typical race win is usually, I believe, 3 points. You know, bonus. And then you got your, you know, lead the most laps. That's another 5 right there. So that puts it within range if that was the case. So, oh, it'll be interesting. It looks like the 9's going to pit. He is. He's pitting, guys. I think that's the right call. I can't see pitting. Like, I think you kind of made your bet here for the 40th or 44. If you wait too long to pit, you're gonna have no track position. And yes, there is 11 cars on lead lap, and we seen him come through pretty earlier, but that was also on tires that were a lot more worn compared to the competition. So, it's getting to the point where I usually make the call. Usually, you know, a short track, especially anything past 30 to go. If you ain't pitted already, you might as well just stay out, because you get yourself back there, and we've seen some issues back there already. You know, it's the hornet's nest, and that's where you get stung. So I hate putting myself back there.
Oh, I absolutely agree, especially at short tracks where it's difficult to make passes. Going back to Sunday, I decided 20 laps to go to take my last set and make a charge, and immediately what happened? Got caught in a wreck.
Yep.
So it's
somehow
dangerous
you
because
bounced back.
everybody's wanting to go. Yeah, somehow, luckily, I somehow made it through there. But you know, that close to the end, everybody's, you know, patience is gone. Laps are ticking down. It's time to go. And even though you've got fresher tires, these guys are still getting it, and you just don't want to get caught up in something. And Shelly on Facebook saying, "Giddy up!" Yeah, well, they're about to now. It's getting down to the nitty gritty.
Yes, we are getting down to the nitty gritty here tonight at ISM Raceway, and we're about to see who can bring it home here tonight for the eNascar Outlaw League, as these guys will head off into their playoffs next week in Kansas. So this is an important race to see who gets in and who doesn't.
Yeah, it's been a really good race here so far at Avondale Motorsports Park, so I'm excited to see the end of it.
I don't even know where we're at anymore.
Hang on, we're not going green.
Yeah, we're out west of Brandon. Pace car is in. Ooh, delayed yellow here. Whoa!
Ooh, I think I hear people wrecking.
No, that was the pace car. How did the pace car just do that? I'm calling some voodoo magic right there. I don't know if anybody's seen that, but the pace car literally drove through the wall. I've never in my life seen that in iRacing. Never. And I've been playing this game for a while.
Somebody go out there and check Brett Godine's glasses prescription. I don't think he needs to be driving a pace car anymore.
I think David Blaine's driving the pace car after that. That was some type of magic trick right there. He might be. I don't even know what happened.
That would have caused me to wreck the car.
Yeah. And look, he's going to come back down this time, so let's get ready for another restart here. Wow. What an amazing turn of events here.
Green flag,
And the pace car's in. We will have the green flag here. The 44, Ryan Goodell leads us down to turn number 1. Look at Ken Zeems. He says, I got some fresh tires. I'm ready. And the 18 are in there, not too far behind with the 29, Nick. So, real good stuff playing out here. Man, but Ryan Goodell has been the restart king.
Yellow flag is out.
Big wreck. That's the 42 of Joaquin. Oh man. Yeah, Joaquin Meza. There. We'll see it when we go into replay here. As he goes through 1 and 2, a little high up there the racetrack. This is going to set him up for the dog leg. For a little bit of contact here between him and the 22. You see the white car. And, a little contact right to the 48. And man, he lifted off. Like all 4 tires off the ground with that contact. That is crazy.
Yeah, it's like we said before, them getting after it. That was the closest racing so far that we've seen. You know, normally they've been pretty fanned out through the dog leg there. They were like within a car width of each other.
Yeah, there was everybody right there was looking really to get anything they could. So yeah, it's one of those deals. I mean, we just seen a car turn into a helicopter and the pace car drive through the wall. I'm wondering what we're going to see next.
Well, Zach, not everybody can get that inside lane to go into 3. It just doesn't work out.
It does not. That's for sure. Oh man, it's. I mean, this track is just so different, and you know, when we get the updated version of it, I personally am super scared about how it's going to play out. Restart coming out of 2, you know, in turn 1 being 3 and 4. And I mean, you got to run down this long straightaway. You know, normally you restart midway down the straightaways on the front stretch, in which now that is the back stretch. So you'll be restarting coming out of technically turn 4. Now it's turn 2. I'm confusing everybody, I know. But it'll be very interesting when we get, because I'm gonna tell you what, it's gonna fan. And when that happens, we will have 3-4 wide going off into 1, which is now 3, and then we'll stop talking about turn numbers. The start finish line, our producer was asking, is actually coming out of turn 1 and 2. Right now 1 and 2. So as you see right here where they're coming, they're going through the middle of 1 and 2, and the restart zone would be right where the pace car is, pretty much now, right as they exit 2. So
It's like right in that little short chute.
Yep. And yeah, so you'll have. It's actually done. It's really been some interesting restarts in the Cup races. They've changed that, and I'm gonna tell you what, it'll be really crazy to see everybody fanning out down that dog leg on a restart. So it'll get even wilder here. Even you couldn't think that dog leg could get any crazier, but stack the cars up and let them restart there. I'm sure it will.
I predict, wheel spin's already pretty bad here on older tires on the flat, and that bit of banking on the short shooting out of 2, man, it's gonna be like Dover all over again.
And think about people restarting. I mean, most people are restarting in the corner, so that's kind of a Martinsville type thing too. So it's not easy to have that wheel in the car and then try to jump the gas. You know, that usually ends up into bad things. So those restarts are going to lead to some pretty crazy stuff, but I'm sure we'll see that soon coming to iRacing. As man, I don't know if you guys have seen all the stuff coming to the new build this September, but man, oh man, this might be one of the most exciting builds I've ever seen iRacing put out. The content is just it's so much content for this update. I mean, you got the new Corvettes. Yeah, you got Nashville. You got the Corvette C8. Just they got announced that today. GTE car or GTLM got announced. The LMP2 is coming out. The F1 car is actually getting the F1, which is the McLaren MP30 or MP430, is getting a complete overhaul from when they took it out of the racing schedule. It's getting a complete overhaul, and also not only that, but they will actually have where the Formula 1 tires are in it. So you'll have the softs, the mediums, and the hards. So you'll actually have 3 different compounds of tires. And that kind of excites me for, wow, man, we're seeing different compounds of tires now. How far away are we from seeing wet racing and wet tires? So pretty big future here stuff coming, and I'm sure I'm missing a lot of other stuff coming out in this new build. But man, oh man, I'm super excited for it.
I'm really not excited for the concept of race stock cars on rain tires because I'm bad enough road courses as it is.
I can't wait for that. I love it. Oh, I can't wait for the day to be able to drive off into the corners in a road course of the stock car in the wet. I just hope they can replicate wet racing actually to what it is in real life, where most games don't replicate. I mean, they replicate it good, but not that great with how racing on the rubber is. But guess what? We're about to get this thing popped off here and get it maybe finished here as we take the green flag for maybe the final time tonight here at ISM Raceway. Off into one. Ken Zeems, he was on it this time.
Really good start for Zeems with 18 to go here, it looks like. And now he's finally cleared the 18 and he's getting after it.
It is go time, and look, he's going to be almost to the inside. Oh! Almost into the back of the 44. As we look here, the 29, you guys up high, the 49, Drew Holleran. Oh, that's a wreck, guys, coming off the 4. And that was our playoff contender. That right there just shakes it all up. And guess what? Brandon Browning should get your lucky dog, I believe, unless he had got today. So, yeah, that'll give another position for Drew to drop back as these people get added onto the lead line. But you can see right here on the replay, oh, hit the wall, or not hit the wall, got loose, and got into the 36. Kyle Speed sent him into the inside wall, pretty heavy.
And really just bad luck for Speeds. He was running really well, played a great strategy, and looked to have a good chance to win this race, and unfortunately lost the car out of 4 some laps ago, and it's just been a struggle. Again, mistakes and how hard they are to come back from.
That they are, Brandon. Very, very tough to come back from it. Really looking at his car, he's not too badly damaged, so I think he'll be all right, but definitely not the cleanest nose. But man, I tell you who didn't. Ken Zeems was. If he can do that same restart and we get a few laps, I'm interested to see how this all plays out, because is Ryan Goodell going to come down and take his final set tire? He is. I don't. Oh, and there's so many people coming down. Wow. So Nick in the 29. Also, Kyle Spees. You got the 23 of Derek Bordeaux or Drew Bordeaux. Matthew Jagger in the 22, and the 50 of John Gallagher. So,
But I tell you, Zach, before that round of pit stops, Drew Halloran only had a 1-point lead.
yeah.
This is strategically, it's a good call to take these tires, but as we've seen, it's so risky to be in the back. It's so risky.
Yeah. That it is, and we're
as it is now, he has a 15-point lead as it runs right now, not including whatever bonus points may be divvied out. Assuming that it's 1 for leading a lap and 1 for leading the most laps, then it would be 13 at the moment. A race win, if they do it the same way the WSSR does it, then it's 3 points for a win, which leaves it to be a 9-point deficit if he wins and Drew maintains his position.
Wow. Yeah, and this is gonna be crazy. Ryan's gonna restart in that 8th position also, and not saying that's too far, but that's still pretty far back.
And as I mentioned earlier, based on what my strategy was at Dover, about 20 laps to go to take that last set and just give it all it's got. It looks like Ryan's, I don't know if he's listening, but if he is, don't steal my ideas, patent pending. But might be the call of the race.
Yeah, and you also had the 29 there take right side, so he had saved the set of right sides there for that. So, yeah, interesting. Now Ken Zeems going to be in control of this race with Aaron in 2nd, Christopher Lawrence in 3rd. So, cool. Right now are some crucial moments, because also another thing is, Ken has been rolling around here on tires, but really he's only had like restarts under his tires, so it's not like he's on, old tires or something. So yeah, there's going to be a difference, but I'm not saying I think Ken Seams is going to win, but I think he's sitting in a pretty good position to pull this off if I'm thinking this out right.
Yeah, based on the amount that they've run since Ken took his tires, it's really been collectively, I don't know, 3-4 laps under green.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be that big of a difference. Caution laps are really helping Ken, and he and Aaron are both on the same tires. They both pit at lap 116, so he's not going to be able to get away from him super quickly. But if he can, he's just got to stretch that lead as much as possible and hope that Ryan makes some mistakes or maybe gets caught in an incident.
Yeah, and looking at the numbers here, he's had 2 laps that he's ran in 27 since he's took the tires. So that's 2 up the speed laps, and they're not even nowhere near his fastest lap. It's a good 6-7 tenths off his fastest lap. So I think there's plenty of life still in the tires. I think he might have pulled a masterclass strategy here to pit a little bit earlier.
And it seems to be things that Ken seems starting to get known for. He plays pretty much the same strategy every race, and it seems to work out quite well for him. Hopefully the rest of these guys are taking notes.
Yeah, I know I would be. Pace car is going to pull in. Maybe for the final time, as I said last time, but you never know here.
Green, green,
At the
green.
eNascar Outlaw, you guys did green flag waves. The 44 jumps to the outside. Wow. That was interesting.
And the 44 shot at 3 wide up to 4th position coming out of 2.
Oh, man, he's going to make the pass, though.
Wow.
Trying to battle off the 9. Or the 18 of Arn. Ooh. Side by side with Ken Seams, but Ken Seams is going to make the pass. But Ryan is already up to 3rd as the 9 loses it, and that's going to be a wreck. The 9 of Christopher Lawrence. And guess what? That makes it even easier for Ken personally. He's just got to get good restarts now, and we'll go back and look at the replay here for this caution as the 9 of Christopher Lawrence running in that 3rd position. A small mistake.
And Kyle Spees barely made it through that one as well.
Yeah.
Oof.
We go going into 3 and 4. You can see the 44 coming into the picture on the outside up there. He was booking it. I think the 9 seen it coming, tried to make sure he had a good run off of 4 here, so that 44 didn't get run. You can see the rear end step out. He recorrects and then cuts it back left, and that's going to hit the 30 there of Darrell. And man, hard hit for the 30, hard hit for the 9. That's going to hurt. And it's going to be tough to bounce back from that here with less than 10 to go.
No, if he can, it will be a real achievement at this point, Zach. He's just clawing for any position he can at this point.
Definitely is. Well, I'll tell you what, the 18 did a good job on the last restart. But I tell you who's going to be super aggressive here is that 44. He's going to try everything in his power to get up here. And man, that was interesting restart too from him. He stuck on the outside of the, I believe that was the 22 on the restart. And man, he made it work. I was very surprised by that.
That was incredibly bold and extremely fortunate that there wasn't any contact and he was able to get away. But, it might be exactly what wins him the race here. He put himself in a great position with all these cautions at the end here. And now he doesn't have to fight through all those cars. So he's got 2 cars now that he has to worry about getting by on the restart. He's looking really strong.
The 44 had to tow. The 49 of Drew. Motor is blown on the 49 guys, and man,
oh no,
he's gonna lose up. He's gonna fall all the way to 15th. That's
heartbreaker.
He's going to
That is-
need the 44 to have some issues here if he wants to have a good shot at this.
That is the absolute worst case scenario. Oh my. He was so close. He just had to hold, you know, right around the top 5. And just the engine just popped. I feel so bad for the guy.
Yeah, it is unfortunate there for the 49. Nothing he could really do. Good valiant effort to try to hold on to this thing, but man, you know, he's probably not feeling great after that one. That's a tough way to lose it there with your engine expiring, and now he's just relying on the 44 to make some type of mistake now.
Well, and I don't think there's much hope for that, Zach. He's been pretty solid throughout the entire race. Haven't even really seen him bobble off the corner, let alone, you know, get into the wall or get into another car. So I think he's pretty safe right here, and just a bit of bad luck for Drew Halloran.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. 44 has been really perfect all night, and hadn't put himself in too many bad situations. And man, oh man, you know, going back and looking at that restart, it looked like it checked up for him in front of him, and he took advantage of the checkup, went around the outside, and that was impressive.
Yeah, and you know, some guys aren't going to appreciate that very much, being put in that position on a restart, but can't complain too much when you get away from it clean.
That's right. That's right. And it's going to be pretty interesting here, because we're going to have about 5 to 4 laps when we go green here. Most likely 5 to go, and that's not many laps to get it done. So we're going to have a battle on our hands, and it should come down to the wire here. Or
Well,
Ken seems to clutch up.
He's going to have to make that car super wide. Anything that he's been holding back the whole race, if he's got anything left than what he's shown so far, we're absolutely going to see it here. I'm super excited for this restart.
That is for sure. As I believe he was your winner in the ARCA car, right, Robert? So he did win here in the ARCA car. So see if Phoenix can end up being a pretty good week for that 40 at Ken Zeems. And this is where the nerves hit you. I've been in this situation many times. I can tell you what, this is when my stomach starts to hurt.
Heart pounding, your right foot starts to shake just a little bit.
A little bit, yep. And this 18, he did a good job last time on the restart. You need to watch him also. If Ken can clear him, he needs to have that 18. The 44's worse enemy, I believe. But pace car is going to pull off. See what happens here. Green flag is in the air. Ken Zeems takes off the 44 side by side with the 18. Ken, great restart. He's going to hope for that 18. Oh, and the wrecking in the back, Brandon Browning. Man, oh man.
And I think that might have just been a product of the checkup on the restart there. It looked like the second car on the outside lane didn't quite get going, and happens here. We talked about it on Monday, where it's just so flat on the front stretch on the restarts. You just can't see much ahead of you other than the cars directly in front of you.
Yeah, we'll have a issue here finding the replay, but I can tell you like it was Brandon Brown trying to shoot the middle of the gap through wide. And the 41, I believe, of Chris Malcolm was there, and kind of, oh yeah, there you go, you see it. And yeah, he just kind of turned down to the 41. I believe he just didn't know the 41 was there, and shot him into that inside wall. And yeah, that's the end of the story for the 50 there.
Well, if you're gonna make moves like that, you definitely have to be paying attention to every car that you're around.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, you know, these late race restarts, sometimes you put it in there and you think, man, this hopefully this works, but you got to know your surroundings. And I think the 44, he was watching the I believe the 50 in front of him in the middle kind of come down, and I think he was trying to miss him, but he also had the 41 inside of him. So really the biggest thing, only thing he could do there was check up and he decided to go for the gap, and man,
Well, I'll tell you, Zach, Southwest Superspeedway has not been kind to Brandon Browning tonight.
no sir, it has not. And this makes Ken Zeems even closer to a victory here. So
I think they have 3 attempts.
yeah, they
Ken is praying that these guys can just keep it together until he takes the white flag.
Yeah,
He just wants it over. He does not want to have to do this another 2 times.
definitely does not. And Ryan Goodell says, "Give me as many shots as you can give me. I'm dominating this race. Everybody get out of my way." I know that feeling. When you dominate a race and you lose it, there's no worse feeling than just the thought of, man, what could I have done differently to make sure I stayed in that position? And yeah, it's stuff like this that'll make you rethink when you pit for your last set of tires. You know, at short tracks especially. You know, that was really the point I was bringing up. Is like, you know, yeah, you can pit late and have that extra set, but if you keep getting cautions, it's not going to really help that much. You know, so yeah, if it would have stayed green, I think 44 was sitting pretty. But you know, short track racing tends to be pretty hectic in the last 30. So I never don't expect a caution if you're especially restarting.
Yeah, and the closer these cars get bunched together, and now with green white checker, they only got 2 laps to really get as much as they can get. It's much closer than it's been all night, and no more patience, no more giving. You're just take, and sometimes it's take a little bit too much.
Definitely. Sometimes you get the wrong end of the stick, unfortunately. Now, if something happens here, also the 18 is sitting in a prime position. If the 44 does get by him, and say him and the 40 get into it, maybe Arn can come out of here, you know, looking pretty nice. So it's just, there's so many situations that come out, and it ain't over till it's over here in Phoenix.
Well, Zach, if Aaron ends up winning this thing, I bet you both Ken and Ryan are going to be sitting there thinking, man, this is a load of barnacles.
Oh, it's good. That's a good one. I like that.
Obligatory SpongeBob reference. You're welcome.
That's for sure. Look at the pace car lights. We're going to go out this time. We're going to line up double file for our first attempt at 3 green white checkers possible. So remember, we have 2 lap shootout here, and if we do take that white flag, it's all over from there. No caution will be thrown. So Ken Zeems, like you said, Brandon, wants to get to that white flag and see that thing waving.
I'm pretty sure the white flag will be just as good as the checkered flag for Ken Zeems if he can make it around.
Oh yes, it will be. That's for sure. That's a nice sight to see when you're leading, is that white flag. So we'll see how it plays out here. Race car should pull in this time. We will get back to our first green white checkered attempt here at ISM Raceway. In the restart zones, the green flag is out. Ken Zeems on it. 18, not a bad restart. 44, also not the best restart he's had all night. I think the 18's gonna have a good shot to be able to fight hard on the outside, side by side. Who goes to? Oh, there's another caution, guys.
And just looking at it, the 29 of Nick, he's just sizing these guys up, hoping maybe somebody gets into somebody up there and he can pounce and come home with a top 3 or better.
That's for sure. We'll go back here. I believe that was involving the 48 of Brandon Browning once again. Gotten to the side. It looks like some getting to the side of the 22. See a little replay going into 1. Goes the 48 off into 1, almost into the back of 41, and ooh, right into the back of the 22.
Just that little checkup, and it just upset the balance, and nose pulls to the right. That's all she wrote. Really hard to keep that down once you set the car heading in that direction, Zach.
Yeah, it definitely is. Not the greatest night there for the 48, but hopefully he'll be able to rebound next week at Kansas. As man, oh man, this is crazy stuff here. We'll go to the second green-white checkered attempt now as we pace for a few more laps. And man, the longer this goes, the more Kinzium's just like, okay, come on guys, let's please. And I tell you what, it was going to be a race down in the 3 that time too, because they were all 3 stacked up. So if Ken can't figure out a way to get better out of turn 2, it's going to be tough for him to hold him off. Personally, I don't know what's going to happen here. This is the top 4, top 5, all have a shot at this.
Well, looking at the last time they pit, Ryan, Nick, Kyle, and Drew Bordeaux all pit at the same lap or one later. Kyle Speed's pit on 145 compared to their 144. They're all on equal footing compared to Aaron and Ken on the front row. They're just looking for an opportunity, and not a lot of time left. See what they can find, and I look for some really aggressive gap shooting here. Maybe somebody shooting into 3 on the apron to see if it'll stick.
Well, that's what I definitely think was coming. Ryan was actually pretty close to the 40 exiting too, and it looked like he was ready to take that hard sharp left and go down there. Remember, he hadn't been using it all race. He's been up there, up high, riding around the nice little bank dog leg. I think it's time to use that flat part of the racetrack to shorten it up a little bit if he's not a shot at this.
Yeah, if you were staying off that apron to try to save the tires, there's no point in it now. Use every bit of track, take it all the way down to the inside wall, see what you can get.
Definitely so. Man, it's going to get wild here at eNascar Outlaw League here tonight, and we always want to give a shout out to our sponsors here, wonderful sponsors at Freak Fast Broadcast. So remember to check out the Butt Kicker, because every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The Butt Kicker M2 lets you feel every detail from the subtle footsteps or rumble of a V10 powered race car, from ambient environmental effects to the power of a nearby explosion. By moving a physical mass instead of only air like a traditional scooter would, the Gamer 2 provides an instant, accurate, powerful base response, and it also perfectly syncs with every game with no additional software. So I want to give them a huge shout out, of course, and also iPitting, which is a web tool designed for iRacing teams to help you keep track of all your teammates' stats and great data for streaming, all types of stuff for community management at ipitting.com. So shout out to our wonderful sponsors here, as always. And man, tell you what, they're getting their butt kicked tonight.
It's a very fitting sponsor tonight. It's been a real kick in the pants for a lot of guys tonight, that's for sure.
Definitely has, and this track's a tough racetrack. I've seen races here where 20 cautions or more, and but man, oh man, it could put down some good old finishes, that's for sure. So we'll see how this plays out as those pace car lights finally do come off, and we'll do one final pace lap here to get into our second attempt to green white checker. We do have one final attempt if we do get a yellow before that white flag comes out. So 2 laps here to decide it all. We can stay green.
Keep an eye on that 29, Zach. I think he's got a taste of the front now. He's going all the way. I'm liking his chances right now. The 44 of Ryan, he's been really good all night, but Nick, he's been consistent. He really hasn't gone up or down too far. So let's see if he can finally bring it home.
We'll have to see here as that pace car takes its left off to the pit road, and we will get this thing kicked off for our second attempt at a green white checker. There it is. Green flag is out. 40 with a little bit better restart. 18 staying pretty tight there on the outside. 40 backs the corner up. 44 all over the back of the 40 as they exit 2.
Not quite as good of a restart as Ken would have liked. He would really like to see the 44 and the 18 side by side and maybe pull away, but he's gotten back out to the front here. He's looking to slide in front of the 18 second.
Yeah, I think you're going to see that work out here as the 40 clears the 18. Can the 44 clear? He does. We're going to have about a white flag in the air as they're wrecking behind, but doesn't matter. We're coming back to the checker flag here. Off of 2, the 44 with a good power run. 40 is going to dive it down onto the apron. It's going to be here where it's decided. The 44 to the inside. 40 covers them off. Slides up the racetrack a little bit. Who gets the power off of 4? I think Ken Zeems is going to be your winner. Right to the back bumper. Ken Zeems wins.
Great job by Ken Zeems. Ryan tried to force a mistake by faking really low and got out of it early. And Ken overdrove a little bit, but not quite enough. Good job for him to hang on to that and take the victory.
Definitely awesome finish there for Ken to get that win there and pull off some amazing strategy to come back for that. But man, I'm kind of gutted for Ryan at the same time, who really showed a lot of pace here tonight, but just came up short. But great race here tonight for the eNascar Outlaw League. And we will go to a little break, I believe, here, and we will get our top 3 podium finishers here. And we'll get talking.
That is correct. We will be right back with our post-race interviews here with eNascar Outlaw League. So stay tuned.
All right, we are back here, ladies and gentlemen, here with our podium finishers tonight. So far we have our 3rd place and our winner now. Here we got Ken Zeems in. So, all right, we'll go on to a post-race interview here with Arn, 3rd place. Hey, Arn, it's Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Hey, man, well, heck of a job here tonight to start in that 10th position and come home 3rd. How was your race out there tonight, man, I assume?
It was good. Had a few ups and downs. I mean, pit strategy was fine. Overall, good race.
Yeah, definitely good job of you, man, to bring it home in 3rd. Anything you think you could have done differently there on them green-white checkers, or just didn't have enough there at the end?
Nah, starting on the outside there just really screwed my chances over. You know, considering they could cut the dogleg and make up that much time off the restarts, I was just kind of forced.
Definitely, yeah. That dog leg definitely came into factor there, as those guys could cut it on the inside there for you. Next week we go to Kansas, man. How you feel about Kansas?
I mean, I've done okay there. It's not my best track by any means, but can't wait to do it.
Awesome, Aaron. Well, man, congrats on that 3rd place finish. And before we let you go, anybody want to send a shout out to?
I'll give a shout out to Drew for being there, and well, Halloran, and I know there's 2 in here, but in the race, but yeah, just for kind of being there, and yep.
Awesome. You go celebrate that 3rd place finish, man. We'll catch you next week.
Talk to you later.
All right, guys, that was 3rd place of Aaron Barnicle in that 18, and he almost made him eat barnacles. Collie, but that was a good joke. That was a good joke. I just had to give you a little credit on that. We'll move on here to our 2nd place man who kind of dominated the night. Unfortunately, just comes up a little bit short, so I'll get a talk in here with Ryan. Hey, Ryan, it's Zach in the booth, man. You got a copy?
I do, Zach. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Well, tell you what, man, you came up just a little bit short tonight after putting on a really dominant performance in the 44. Tell us how the race went for you there tonight, man.
Yeah, it just didn't work out for me. Again, seems like that's kind of the story of the last 2 weeks. But Ken ran a really good race. It kind of depended on when those cautions were gonna fall, and it seemed like they were falling every 3 laps. So I just didn't want to end with having one of my sets of tires in the pits. That wasn't gonna do me any good. Probably came up, 2-3 laps short. Definitely had a couple more laps. I think I could have been able to get past Ken, but clean race by everybody. So yeah, ended up just not working out today.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate for you there, man. Just getting a little bit short there to the 40 of Ken Zeems. Definitely all night looked really, really strong. I gotta say, man, on the restarts, it was sometimes like you would just hit a different zip code. How were you getting off of 2 so well on the restarts there?
Just kind of trying to use your momentum. I practice a lot with Nick Rader and Matt Jaggard, and we were kind of talking about this. They were asking me the same question. You just you don't even steer the car coming off the corner. You kind of just guide it up towards the wall. And you don't really deal with that loose right rear condition and end up getting a nice run down the back stretch. So, or I guess now the front stretch. So yeah, that ended up kind of working out. You just kind of trying to be a little bit smoother, ended up obviously yielding a little bit more speed, and kind of straightening out the wheel there worked well off of 2.
Yeah, awesome. Another thing we noticed from you, Ryan, all night is you really elected to stay up on top of the dog leg. You never really cut it till the end there when you really needed to. So were you kind of saving that for later, or was that, you just felt comfortable up there?
Yeah, I mean, the entire race, like on the first run and then the second run after I pitted, and I kind of got out to those large 3-second, 4-second leads, just kind of knew where I was. Ken kind of started reeling me in at a couple points where he's picking up a couple tenths. I knew exactly where, I was giving up that time, and part of it was down the dog leg, and a little bit was off of 2 and off of 4. Just, you can't really burn that right rear tire off this setup. If you do, it's a long night, so just kind of wanted to conserve that until the end, and had too much tire and not enough time.
It's unfortunate for you tonight, and I believe you will make it on through to the next round, or into the playoffs, I believe, with that second place finish. I'm not sure about that, but I believe so. So if you did, congrats on that. But we go to Kansas next week to start the playoffs. How do you feel about Kansas?
Kind of like Chicagoland. So I'm a bigger fan of tracks where you're off throttle and kind of using your momentum. 3 and 4 at Phoenix is a turn I love. So getting back to tracks where we're kind of on throttle the entire time, not my favorite, but hopefully we get a result kind of like Chicagoland.
Awesome, Ryan. Well, man, just coming up a little bit short tonight, but you put on a heck of a run, I gotta say. They definitely knew the 44 was there tonight. And congrats on your second place finish. But before we let you go, anybody want to send a shout out to?
Yeah, I want to say thanks to Nick and Matt for practicing with me this week. And then again, shout out for my firm, CJBS. If anybody knows anyone who needs any accounting services, look me up on Google, Ryan Goodell, CJBS. Thanks, Zach. Have a good week.
You too, Ryan. Congrats, man.
Thanks.
All right, that was the 44 of Ryan Goodell here tonight. Very, very dominant car, but just kind of a little bit short to the man, Ken Zeems himself, who actually 2 wins this week here at the Phoenix Raceway. So we'll get a talk in with our victory man. Hey, Ken, it's Zach in the booth, man. You got a copy?
I got you, Zach.
Hey, well, heck of a race there for you tonight, Ken. A lot of bounce backing you had to do, man. Seemed like you were really, really strong on the longer runs. Just looking at the times, you were slowly gaining a little bit on Ryan there as the runs went on. So was that really your plan going in there? You were looking for the green flag runs?
Yeah, that's kind of how I race. I like to save my stuff there, so I have something at the end. Trying to burn it up at the beginning, So it's kind of how I like to race these longer races.
Definitely, yeah. You definitely could tell you were looking pretty strong on the longer runs. So yeah, you really bounced really back from some damage early in the race, and you saved that set of tires And I believe you still had a set left, right? Am I correct?
Yeah, I did. I had one set left. I see a couple of the guys, they pit their the leaders and stuff, in that last caution. I just stayed out. I wanted a track position then, so I figured I'd hold them off. But I'm too old for all those green, white checker restarts, man. That's a lot. To go,
Yeah.
But
Definitely. I was gonna ask you that. 2 green, white checkers in a row. What was your thoughts going into those? Because man, you did a great job to hold them off there.
Yeah. Well, I knew Ryan would probably be back up there. He was fast all race, so I just couldn't believe it. And I had to watch the guy there on my outside on those restarts because actually, if he was ahead of me, he would have got the position. So, but yeah, it's a lot, to go through trying to not make any mistakes and stay out front there.
Yeah, definitely will. You did a heck of a job to hold them off there, man, and bring home the victory here tonight. And I believe that's your second one here this week at Phoenix. So you'll go on to Kansas next week. How you feeling about Kansas?
We'll see what's going on in the schedule. I had nothing going on today, so that's why I showed up for this one. But I'll have to see what next week brings. But it was fun tonight, and like I said, I just want to thank Ryan there. He raced me real clean there at the end. I appreciate that. He could easily just kind of give me the bumper and push me out of the way. But he's a good racer, good clean racing.
Awesome, Ken. Well, man, congrats again on the victory here tonight at ISM Raceway. Before I let you go, anybody wants to shout to?
Yeah, thank my sponsors, Apcar Esports, Chris Apcar, and Jeff McConey with the McConey Setup Shop. Appreciate everything you do for us. And I thank my wife for letting me do this stuff. I do it quite often. She never complains about, so I thank her too.
Awesome, kid. Well, man, congrats on your win here tonight again, and hopefully we'll catch you next week here.
All right, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
All right, later on. All right, guys, that was Ken Zeems, your winner here tonight in the 40 machine. Man, what a race there for him to be able to hold off Ryan Goodell in that 44. He played the right strategy, Kylie. I think that's where he won this race, personally.
Yeah, and it's races like this just go to show, Zach, that you don't, just because you're the fastest car doesn't mean you're going to win. And just sometimes just because you don't have the speed to dominate the race doesn't mean you don't have a shot at it.
That's exactly right. Never get down when you're in these races, man, because you never know what could happen and where you could end up. But we're going to go to our race results here tonight, and I'm going to go through these as Ken Zeems, of course, is your race winner in that 40 machine. Second place will go to Ryan Goodell. Third is Aaron Barnicle. Fourth is Kyle Speeds as he bounced back from a few incidents. Nick Rader there in fifth. Drew Bordeaux in sixth. Seventh is Brandon Browning. Eighth is John Gallagher. Ninth is Daryl Arnold. 10th is Matthew Jagger. 11th is Chris Malcolm. 12th is Shane Tierney. 13th is Russell Peets. 14th is Chris Lawrence. 15th is Drew Halloran. 15th is Joaquin Meza. 17th is Christopher Woodard. 18th is Robert Woodard. And 19th is Henry Esau. So that is your field here tonight for the eNascar Outlaw League. And what a race it was here at ISM Raceway.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for the commentating tonight. What a race these guys had out here at whatever track we want to call it. ISM, Phoenix, Avondale, Raceway Park. We have it all. Right, guys?
Definitely.
Had a lot of fun.
A lot of fun,
Definitely
but
was.
all right. Well, Freaky Fast will be off the next 2 nights. No race tomorrow night, Thursday night with Gulf Coast. We're off for them as they are off. And then Friday night is Wifey night, and then of course, then we will be live with World Series of Sim Racing League Saturday night, and then we'll also be live with Sim Racing Unleashed on Sunday night. So hopefully everybody has the rest of the work week is good, but until then, hopefully we see you this weekend. God bless everybody. Love yous all. Peace out.
Later, guys.